All right, welcome back to yet another night of math practice with Mrs. Sackno. I would like you to make sure that you have a piece of paper out, that you have a pink pencil or pen, and a green pencil or pen. Make sure you also have a regular pencil. Make sure now that you please copy down this problem onto your paper. Pause me until you're ready for me to start. All right, the first thing I'm going to do with this problem is I'm going to circle my variable with pink. So I'm going to circle my variable with pink. That's my 2b. Good, so you should have your 2b circled. Now I want you, since there's no other sign in this, I want you to write a positive in front of the 2. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our green and we're going to draw a rectangle around any numbers. These are called constants because they're numbers without variables. Make sure that you include the sign. You want to include that negative here. You also want to put a constant around your 3. Okay. Since my 3 does not have a sign in front of it, I'm going to go ahead and add a positive so I remember this is positive 3. All right, let's look at rearranging this now. Before I can start arranging, I want to just draw my pink circle below. On the next line down, I want to draw my green box on the next line down and my other green box on the next line down. All right, so I have a pink circle and 2 green boxes. Now I'm going to use my pencil and I'm going to fill in positive 2b, negative 9 equals positive 3. All right, now I need to remember that what I'm doing is I'm adding my circle to my box. All right, so now I can look at figuring out how to rearrange this. Remember that the first thing I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to undo my addition or subtraction. So look back over here on the side with your 2b. What am I doing? I'm adding this. Hold on, let me switch here. Okay, I'm adding a negative 9. So what can I possibly add to undo this negative 9? I need to add something to both sides of my equation. Well, I need to get this 2b by itself, so I'm going to end up adding the opposite of negative 9, which is just a positive 9, to both sides. All right, so now I'm left with just 2b. My 9's end up equaling 0. Negative 9 plus a positive 9 is 0. And then I've got this positive 3 plus positive 9, which should give me a positive 12. Okay. I'm going to go back through and I'm going to put a box around my 12. All right, my pink and my green are on their own sides. We're good. Now I can go into step number 2, which is to undo multiplication and division. So what am I multiplying my 2b by? What's going on over here? Remember that this is the same as 2 times b. So I'm going to divide by this thing beside my b. What I do to one side, I've got to do to the other. So now I have simply b equals 12 over 2. What is 12 divided by 2? Hopefully you told me it's 6. Fantastic. We're going to look at a similar problem. Copy this problem down on your paper, and with your handy-dandy colored pencils, I would like you to circle your variable and box your numbers, just like we did last time. We are going to circle our b over 2, and make sure you include the sign with your 6. All right, remember that this is the same as adding, so now I'm going to rewrite this. I'm going to have my circle down here, and my box here, and another box. Make sure you get your equals in there. And we're just going to end up rewriting these as an addition problem. And you should have something that looks like this. Remember that you are adding your pink circle to your green box. And remember to add a sign positive in front of my 8 because this really is positive 8, not just a random 8. All right, now I need to get my pink guy over here by itself. So I end up needing to move the negative 6. How do I do that? Well, I need to add something. What can I possibly add to get -6 to be 0? I'm going to add a +6. What I add to one side, I'm going to add to the other. Okay, and that leaves me with what? Leaves me with my b over 2 plus 0 equals +14. Okay, let's make sure that we keep this guy in pink so we know we have him by himself. All right, so how do I get b over 2 to just be b? Well, I end up needing to undo this division. So I'm going to multiply a 2 over here, and what I do there, I've also got to do over here. My 2's cross out, giving me my b, and my b equals 28. Well done. Let's do another one. All right, let's try colorful shapes around this guy too. So I have my 2k, that's my variable. I have my +3, and I've got my 6. Remember to go ahead and add signs in front of the ones that don't have them. All right, they're all positive. This is kind of cool. Now I need to get my 2k by itself, so I need to undo my green and get my green guy to move over to meet my other green guy. But in order to undo a +3, what do I need to add? Good, I need to add a -3, and what I do to one side, I've got to do to the other. I want you to think about it as adding a negative, okay? So I'm adding a negative, and that leaves me with 2k. Remember, 2k is positive. +3 plus a -3 is what? Good, 0 equals +6 plus -3, which equals what? Good, +3. So I now have a +2k equals a +3. What do I need to do over here to my 2k? I've got to undo this multiplication. 2k is the same as 2 times k, so I'm going to divide by 2. What I do to one side, I've got to do to the other, so my k ends up being 3/2, or 1.5, simplified. All right, let's look at one more example and type, and then I'm going to release you to do some on your own, following this example using your colors, your circles, and your squares. All right, copy this one on your paper, and let's circle and square your variables. Pause me until you have this copied. All right, welcome back. Let's circle our variable. Good, it's 3b. Let's make sure we add our sign. There's no sign there, so that means it's positive. This guy's a constant, so I'm going to draw a box around him, including the sign in there, and the same over here. All right, now we're going to rewrite this as my circle plus my square equals my other square. What goes where? All right, good. It's all a matter of addition. So I've got circles adding to squares. I have to deal with my squares first. I want to get my circle by itself, so I need to do something with this -5. So I'm going to add something. What could I possibly add to both sides that would get rid of this negative guy over here? What's the opposite of a negative? It's a positive. I'm going to add a +5. And I'm going to do that to both sides. And what does that give me? A +3b still. Plus 0 equals what? -18. All right, how do I undo this 3 with my 3b? Well, this is the same as 3 times b, so I have to divide. So I'm going to divide by both the 3 to both sides, which gives me just b equals -6. Make sure you watch that negative over here. All right, on your own now, I'd like you to try doing the problems on the assignment. You can rewatch this video as many times as you need for help.